Namaste, konnichiwa, hello. Welcome. Namaste, konnichiwa, hello. Welcome to the Nupur Tewari show. Episode number 22nd, presented by Heal Tokyo and Heal India. Corporate Insight is our media partner, outfit Vinayakam. Today's guest, I don't need to say much about him. He directs, he writes, and he runs. I'm Buddha. He's one of the best directors in India. He is none other than Mr. Vivek Agnihotri. With big applause, let's welcome Mr. Vivek Agnihotri. Welcome to the Nupur Tewari show, Vivek ji.
Namaskar, Nupur. First of all, I must say sorry. I know you have been chasing me for a long time. It sounds very stupid to say somebody is chasing you, but I was busy. But I really like the way you approach the whole thing, your persistence, and I saw what you are doing, and it's great. So I'm really delighted to be talking to you, such an empowered woman. I'm very happy to be here on your show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And on behalf of whole diaspora, Indian diaspora, we welcome you to Japan. So definitely this is virtually we're welcoming, but you have to come to Japan. You know, this is an invitation, open invitation from entire diaspora.
Oh, definitely. I must confess here. First, I am so delighted to be on your show. Nupur Tewari show sounds pretty good sitting in Tokyo. But I'm also delighted that I'm talking to somebody who's in Japan because I've always been very influenced with Zen. You know, I'm a great follower of Buddha and Zen I've read a lot, a lot. In fact, most of the times I read a lot about Zen teachings, about Zen teachers and how they teach. So, and Japan is perhaps one of those very few countries I have never visited. So it's great to be on your show.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Since you mentioned about Zen, it's like when you come to Japan, you can feel that experience. Like everywhere, so quiet. Everywhere, people are so polite. So it's really, you can feel like, yes, I'm in Japan. That Zen is here. Everything, everywhere is Zen. So Vivek ji, definitely, you are welcome to Japan. You have to come. But हम लोग यहाँ पे जापान में रहते हैं and यूके यूएस की तरह यहाँ पे इंडियन मीडिया इतना सक्रिय नहीं है, तो इसलिए क्या होता है, हमें बस जो दिखाई देता है यूट्यूब में या थोड़ा बहुत जो दिखाई देता है वही से हम लोग we just learn about what is happening in India. तो मेरा क्वेश्चन आपसे ये हम लोग जानना चाहेंगे कि इंडिया इंटॉलरेंट हो गया है या इंडिया पहले से इंटॉलरेंट था या इंडिया को इंटॉलरेंट दिखाई जा रहा है. What is the fact? क्योंकि हम लोग बाहर रहते हैं.
Okay, so your question is whether India has become more intolerant or India was always intolerant. What is the reality? So the question is about intolerance, I was in US and UK before Corona, and there also everybody was feeling, in America, they were feeling that America has become very intolerant. In UK, they were feeling that England has become very intolerant. And in Germany, I was there and people were feeling that Germany has become very intolerant. Wherever you go, people feel that we have become more intolerant. But it's not true. It's absolutely not true. If you look at it differently, I just want to explain this. In fact, India has become more tolerant now. Imagine the kind of things people say today, openly on social media or in media. Imagine 20 years ago or 10 years ago, who would have tolerated it? The problem is that the world is going through a transition phase where social media has taken over our lives. So all the discussions, all the gossip, all the so-called bitching and criticism, which used to happen closed doors between 4 or 5 people, now suddenly has come out in the open. In fact, today in the morning, I've written a long thread of tweets, which is about destruction versus creativity. So what has happened is because of social media, it appears, and anonymity is playing a big role in this. Anybody can come and with one tweet or with one posting on Instagram can insult the other person, humiliate the other person, destroy somebody's credibility, do character assassination, threaten you, do anything he wants to. And we get very affected without realizing that this is just a market gossip. So what is happening is that non-stop, since we are exposed to social media, we feel that there is a lot of intolerance against you or somebody else. Specifically talking about India, India has always been a very tolerant, inclusive society. We have always included new thoughts, new ideas, new people, and everything. You know, without even bothering, without even thinking. Like I told you naturally that I really love Zen. You know, I can say I love Rumi. In fact, in my speeches, I quote Mullah Nasruddin a lot. But if you look at certain faiths, certain religions, certain societies, I'm not critical of anybody, it's just an observation. You will find that it's very difficult for them to accept Zen so naturally or Hinduism so naturally. But we have been very, very accepting and tolerating about everything. If you say people abuse God openly, in a family, there's a very father and mother, and children can abuse the religion, nobody says nothing. People have been making, I've seen in families, people make fun of Ganesha. A lot of people worship Durga. Some people don't like Durga. They're very violent, very cruel. We have these discussions. And with these discussions, we have been reforming, transforming, moving ahead and evolving. India, what is India? India is nothing but a culmination of various forms of, जैसे गंगा में कलकत्ता तक पहुंचते पहुंचते कितनी धाराएं मिल जाती हैं. Ultimately is Ganga. Nobody cares इसमें यमुना आई थी कि इसमें कौन सी और नदियां. So India is like the deep ocean where all kinds of rivers come and meet and they become one. Even I don't know. So India is that complexity, India is that chaos. We have tolerated. First of all, look at this. We have so much of dust. We have so much of noise. We have so much of crisis, conflict, chaos. We tolerate that or not? So at physical level, we tolerate everything without fighting with each other. Now we have so many religions and faiths. We tolerate them. We live with them day and night. 5 times there is Azan. Sometimes there is Durga Visarjan. There is something Galpati Visarjan. Then there are weddings. You know, people are dancing, creating noise. We tolerate everything because we come from joint family. So we are so used to, you know, appreciating all kinds of behaviors and tantrums and religions and conditionings. It's a myth that we have become more intolerant. In fact, we have become more tolerant that now we also tolerate all this chaos.
मेरा एक यहाँ पे एक रेडियो में मेरा इंटरव्यू था और मैं वहाँ पे बोली कि वसुधैव कुटुंबकम. पहली बार जब मैं बोली तो बोला 6000 years ago बोल के गए. कल्चर ऐसे ही है, it is in our culture and that is the way we are. तो हमें एक्चुअली मेरे फैमिली से पर्टिकुलरली मुझे लगता है कि सबके फैमिली में ही कहा होगा जब कोई भी बोला गया था कि सारे भगवान एक ही होते हैं, पथ अलग होते हैं, सबको आप रेस्पेक्ट करो. तो ये जो ये कहीं से नहीं आया, ये हमारे मतलब जो पेरेंट्स थे सीखे थे, ये बस वो अपने पेरेंट्स से सीखे थे. तो ये जो है हमारे संस्कृति में, तो मुझे लगता है कि इसे पूरे दुनिया, जैसे एनी कंट्री, वेस्टर्न कंट्री, एनी कंट्री कैन बी बेनिफिटेड. तो मतलब विवेक जी, हम इसे कैसे और बाहर ले जा सके? जैसे इतने अच्छे वर्ड है जो ऐसे लिख के नहीं गए, दे प्रूव्ड इट में कि हाँ अब सब मिल जाओ, अब पूरे इंडियंस हो जाओ. तो दिस इज द थिंग, हम कैसे और पूरे दुनिया में इसको कैसे फैला सकते हैं?
Okay, so your question is how we can take Indian values outside India and
exactly
make it better.
More and more, definitely.
Okay, so first you have to understand the difference between the evolution of Hindu philosophy and the other cultures. Indian culture, Hindu philosophy, Hindu civilization is based on the concept of addition. Yoga means to add.
Yes.
It is based on Vedas, means never diminishing knowledge which never diminishes. It's based on the concept of Sanatan, means the continuity of the consciousness, ever evolving consciousness. We have system of joint families. What is joint family? Means people with different natures, different behaviors, different aspirations come together, live like a family. That is a joint family. Joint family does not mean living only with your brother and sister. So if there's a maid servant, if somebody is working in your house, she also or he also becomes. The barber who cuts your hair also becomes part of your family, and every wedding and every function, he's invited as a VIP, very important person, very VIP guest. So this is panchayat. Now panchayat system is working together. Everybody's problem becomes one problem. So it's not your problem versus my problem. So our entire philosophy is about addition. Addition, because when there's a collective consciousness, everybody's consciousness becomes one. That's when we discover the cosmic truth, and that's why in we call Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam means the world is a family. Okay, we don't say like the Western culture, we don't say irrespective of caste, culture, race, color, religion, we don't categorize. Universal welfare. Sarve Vabhuna Sukhan, Sabka Sukh ho, Sabka Bhala ho, that is our concept. Okay, Sarv Kalyan is our concept. Sarv means all, totality, Kalyan means welfare. Total, complete welfare. So we have always looked at totality, everybody coming together, joining together. That is our philosophy and culture, and which is why you will see when we travel in a train, for 1 hour we sit opposite each other and you can create relationships forever, which is impossible in the Western culture. Whereas they are based on destruction, that destroy other culture for the supremacy of your culture. So Christians destroyed pagan culture, they destroyed Jew culture, then the Islam came, then the Islamic cultures started destroying Catholic cultures, and they kept fighting. They came to India to destroy Hindu culture, and which is the reason, with the power of swords and guns, wherever they went, those societies completely got demolished. So wherever, and it's a very serious thing I'm telling you, one has to understand. Wherever a Christian culture went, all those countries became Christian, right? And by destroying their own culture. Wherever Islamic people went, invaders, all those countries became Islamic countries. Look at Turkey, look at Iraq and Iran, they lost their original and they become Islamic culture.
And Egypt also.
Egypt also, so many countries. I mean, most of the Africa, if you look at it. Now, look at the compare. And they destroyed the pagan culture, the tribal cultures, all the temples, and the polytheism in the world. People believed in various gods. They destroyed. Today, Greece is not Greece. There is no Greece culture. There is no Roman culture. It's either Christian culture or Islamic culture. They ruled India for 1,000 years, 800 years Islamic culture and 200 years Christian culture. But when they left, still we were a Hindu culture country.
True.
Because we believed in adding. We took some good things from Muslims and Islam and Mughals. We took something from Parsis. We took something from Christians. And we kept evolving into a much larger truth. Now, before I end this, I must tell you something very interesting. When Indians started traveling, especially the Buddhist people, Buddhism is nothing but the evolution of Hindu philosophy. Buddha took the core. It's like Buddhism is the PPT of Hinduism.
Yes.
You know, Buddhism is nothing. It's just a PPT presentation. He took the bullet points, 8, 10 different things, and said this is. And Buddha never created Buddhism. Buddha just got the best things from Hindu culture and Hindu philosophy or Hindu texts, and he just presented to the world. After it, and he said never. He said, forget God. These are the things you should do. And then his followers then picked it up, started calling it Buddhism. Okay, the entire concentration. When his disciples, his followers started traveling outside India, they went to China. What happened? Chinese culture remained, but they adopted Buddhism. So it became Chan. It did not destroy Chinese culture. It did not destroy Chinese language.
True.
You know, from there, then they traveled to Vietnam, Indonesia, everywhere. Everywhere they kept spreading, ultimately reached Japan, where you live. In Japan, Dhyan became Chan in China because there's no word called Dha, so it became Chan. When Chan reached Japan, they didn't have a substitute, so it became Zen. Cha became Zen. Okay, now Zen is actually a Hindu philosophy, 100%, but it did not destroy or substitute Japanese culture.
Exactly.
It remained Japanese culture, but they adopted Hindu philosophy. This is the beauty of Hindu philosophy. Reality of India is the enlightenment and the meditative and the yogic qualities of India, the values of taking people together, which reached there. And this is why you will see, because Christianity and Islamic invasion didn't happen in Japan, so they could maintain their politeness, their humbleness, the family system, sitting on the floor, eating, sipping their tea, and the peace and quietness. Whereas India was invaded, there was so much of violence throughout. I mean, even after independence, the Russian violence and the American violence was there. Therefore, Indian society appears to be very agitated. But the agitation is not coming from people who believe in Hindu values and Indian values. It is coming from very globalized people, people who send their children to convent. But people still, if you travel, 90% of India still is peaceful, meditative, spiritual, and is like a joint family, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
So wonderfully you described, and I'm sure that my all the Japanese friends, they are going to just listen to you, and they will have more interest to travel to Japan, travel to India. I know those who say like, "What is India?" and India is not so. Um, they are more interested about Indian culture. So very rightly you said, and here, like here in Japan, the Buddhism and Shintoism are same. Even Japanese also, they don't discriminate. You said. So I'm going back to that intolerance thing. Like a few weeks ago, I took Fateh Saab interview, actually Tariq Fatehji's, and I got a lot of text that why did you take Nupurji? Why did you take Tariq Fatehji's? You did hurt all the Indian Muslims feelings. I could not understand that. I said I just ran a talk, so I just took a interview. So where did I heard that? So here the intolerance, I could not, I did ignore, but just for a talk show, what is talk show is happening in Japan, and I got like those kind of messages, not only one, from many. So this intolerance, like intolerance, not only in India, it's like I'm feeling like everywhere we're facing it. It's a and how we can improve, how we can make people understand that we are first Indians. Anywhere we live, we anywhere जहाँ पे भी हम रहे, हमारा बस इंडिया ही हमारा जन्म भूमि है, ये हमारा कर्म भूमि, चाहे हम इसके हो भी जाए, तो ये कैसे हम बता सके? क्योंकि मैं और एक इंसिडेंट, क्योंकि मैं आपको पता है मैं वेस्ट बंगाल से हूँ, और जहाँ से हूँ मैं वहाँ पे मतलब द सनातनी कम्युनिटी इज वेरी लेस। तो पाकिस्तान जब भी क्रिकेट मैच में जीतते थे तो वहाँ पे बहुत सारे पटाखे होते थे, तो मुझे कभी समझ में नहीं आया कि क्यों होता है ऐसा। तो मुझे मेरे बहुत अच्छे फ्रेंड भी हैं जो एक्चुअली इंडिया से प्यार करते हैं, जो फेथ मुस्लिम है बहुत, बट दे आर इंडियंस, लेकिन ऐसे लोग बहुत ज्यादा हो गए अभी। तो हम कैसे इन लोगों को समझाएं कि you are an Indian, you are really did not come from any other foreign land, Vivek ji?
Okay, so let me understand. Your question is that how Indians can make
Yes.
India a stronger nation, how we can take our
How we
message,
can be more united, actually, Vivek
how
ji.
we can
How
be
we
more.
can be as a nation, how without faith, without anything, how we can be more Indian. That is my question.
Yeah. So okay, so how Indians can be more united? Now
Exactly.
India is going through a problem. Okay, the problem
Yes.
is that suddenly India became part of a globalized world. Now globalization is a very Western, primarily American commercial tool, or I would say economic and political tool to take over and dominate the world. You know, it's a different kind of imperialism. It's a commercial imperialism. Now, India was a very poor society after liberalization. Suddenly, we became part of this big global world, and people's aspirations change, and we want to be like them. We want to send our children there. We are enjoying all the materialistic aspirations of the globalized world. And in the process, we forgot what is happening in the world today is what you call intolerance is actually a competition of narratives. With the globalized world, the international media and the narrative builders want everybody to become part of their narrative so that we buy more products, so that their economies flourish and they become more powerful. We are not realizing that. Like before, Russia was selling socialism to India, or Naxalism, or Marxism, or Leninism, or communism, whatever. Now the Western world is selling capitalism and materialism and consumerism to us. And we became victims of that. And the second biggest problem is that we have also started becoming reactionaries. Look at Abrahamic faiths are reactionary. They react. So we are also becoming like them slowly. And we are always in a critical mode. We start criticizing people. Why did you call Tariq Fateh? Why did you get Vivek Agnihotri? Nobody is looking that you are trying to bring different points of view. And so my mantra is, which I tell everybody, I have so many speeches and so many programs on this on my YouTube channel, which I would like to present again in a different way to you. See, you build a society not by criticizing, not by cribbing, not by throwing light only on its weaknesses. If you want to become a great country, if you want to be united and strong, you have to look at the greatness. Because when you are in love with something, you always show the best side of yours. And when you are hating something, you always show the worst side of yours. So if I keep showing you the worst side of India, always critical side, then you start hating that society and only the worst comes out. But if you make the younger generation fall in love with the society, if you make them fall in love with India's past and present and everything around it, then you will find that the youth and the people and especially housewives, they will show the best part of theirs. Only when their best comes out, India can become a strong country. And that's why if you see, my focus is always on talking about the greatness of India. Do you think I don't know about the weaknesses of India? Do you think I am not aware of what is happening around? I am perhaps more aware than all these people. But I say, yes, like in your family, if your child is weak for some reason, you are not focusing on his weaknesses. You are trying to show him these strengths. When there are physically challenged or mentally challenged children, telling them, hey, you can't walk, you can't talk, or you can't write. We are always trying to show them the better things, and which is why the society calls them especially able children. What does it mean? That you have some special ability, special quality which others don't have, and that child feels empowered. And you see the best side comes out. That's what I'm trying to do. I always say, you forget what the world is doing. Don't care about who is saying what. It's not your problem. You talk about your greatness. Let's start with the greatness of your mother. Let's start from there. Let's say, how great is your mother? Tell the world about the greatness of your mother, and suddenly you'll feel empowered. Oh my God, my mother made so many sacrifices for me. She's not just an ordinary housewife. She's a very empowered woman. She's full of strengths. And then you'll feel good about yourself. Then let's look at the greatness of your father. Let's look at the greatness of your house. Don't think that, oh, I'm a lower middle class. I come from a poor background. I have a small house. I don't have a great mattress. We don't have those crystal glasses. No. Look at that copper glass and try to understand the greatness of that copper glass. How it quenched your thirst. And slowly expand your scope of your looking at things and see the lanes where you live, the mohallas you live, the colony you live, your city. Try to figure out the local history of your city and the local great people of your city. And that's what I do. If you look at my videos, day before I put a video on Kolkata. I was there. I was just walking. I didn't go and say, hey, Rabindranath Tagore was born here. Oh, look, Swami Vivekananda was born. I didn't get into all those things. I just walked near Howrah Bridge and there was a flower market. And I said, look at the myriad of colors. And every morning they come and they work here. Early in the morning at 4 o'clock, they start their market. How so many people come? And I go after a small beauty about a society. I never look at things, hey, look at that woman. She's so beautiful. No. I look at the small qualities of her. The way that she says hello, the way she brings the warmth, the way that she sits and all that. And that's how I like to appreciate the beauty of a woman. or a child or somebody. And that's what I say, that if you are an Indian, don't look at larger things. Don't say we were Sanatani, we are Vedic. No, just look around you. There is a big banyan tree. To figure out what is the beauty of that banyan tree, talk about the greatness of that banyan tree. Talk about the greatness of your village, your city, your family. When you fill this universe with the greatness of your country, your city, your society, India automatically becomes great. Why is America great? Tell me. Is America really great? It's not. It's as rotten a society as anybody else. They keep talking about the greatness of America in their movies, in their political speeches, in their literature. And that's why people believe America is a great country. Actually, if you look at it, America is a hell of some other planet. You don't
True.
have families. You don't have marriages. You don't have children who live with you. What kind of a society is it? I mean, without family, it's a hell.
True.
Still, we call it the greatest country on this earth. So, you have to fight the war of narratives with strategy. You can't go emotional about it. Stop reacting, be proactive. That's what I say.
Okay, that's very differently and very, different way you just put light there. And I'm sure the viewers will learn a lot of things. Viewers, rather criticizing about India and talking about other things, they will just small things they will start looking at and they'll feel proud of, being Indian. And that is the way we can unite India again. So, since you are from Bollywood, so I'm going to different question. Is Bollywood anti-India?
Oh, okay. That is an amazing question. If you go to I Am Buddha YouTube channel, I have a very long, very extremely popular viral video, which is India, is Bollywood anti-India? I have 7 reasons why Bollywood is anti-India.
Okay.
Okay, now there are two ways to answer this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's look at it like this. What is anti-India? If a soldier is supposed to protect our borders and if he does not protect it, is he pro-India or anti-India? He's anti-India. If a
Yes,
politician is supposed to do the welfare of the society and if he doesn't do and becomes corrupt, is that politician anti-India or not?
of course.
If a citizen is supposed to pay taxes and doesn't pay tax, is he isn't he anti-Indian? He is anti-India. Now, with this kind of a background, I'll tell you why Bollywood is anti-Indian. Now, the film industry is supposed to be the soft power of a society, of a country, to make it a strong nation, to bring money into that country. Whereas you will see Britain, France, America, these countries very strongly have done two things. A, they have increased the tourism into their countries, by showcasing their country in such a wonderful manner. Second thing is they became soft power for their countries, economically, politically, socially. Even if you look at China and Japan, their countries, they showcase their own culture and therefore they become soft powers of their own countries. Now, if somebody has to today go to Japan, just by seeing 5 Japanese films, I know very well how they eat. They sit on the floor, they eat with chopsticks, they wear those kimonos. What is the geisha culture? Okay, what is the tourism? I know about the cherries. I know about, so many things, the tea drinking culture. I know about so much about their architecture, their food, their families, their costumes, so many things. If I have to travel to Poland, I pick up 4, 5 Polish films, I get to know about them. I pick up French films, I get to know about them. Now, if today somebody has to pick up 5, 6 Indian films, Bollywood films, what will you learn about India? You will learn about London, you will learn about New York, or you will learn about very Karan Joharish kind of students which do not exist in India. So, Indian films have failed to showcase Indian families, Indian architecture, Indian society, Indian values, Indian beliefs, right? So therefore, I say what they were supposed to do, they have failed to do that. Instead, they promote American culture, they promote British culture, they promote French culture, and these days they even promote Thailand's culture. and therefore they have failed in doing what they are supposed to do. So like a soldier who's supposed to protect your borders, or a politician who's supposed to do the welfare of the society, or a citizen who is supposed to pay taxes and doesn't do that, so he's an anti-India. Similarly, my charge is that Bollywood is anti-India.
Very rightly and very differently again you said it. So here is the Bollywood, like as you said, the Karan Johar movie, what we see, the students but who really don't exist, those students. So that is how we can change. I think it is our culture, I think government's responsibility, isn't it? The Maharashtra government, I think the local, at least the state government, then the central government, I think we have to totally change the way we are making our movies. Because if uh, one from Japan or someone from other countries, they're watching those movies, they have the same idea, like we do wear saris that way, we do, we do speak that way, we all are rich, but whatever it is, like that is the soft power. Like I was told, like you do wear sari like certain way, which most of our bodies are out, sewn. So I said, no, 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 we don't wear every day, we don't wear sari that way. So I think we are just giving the very wrong impression of our culture to the outsider. So how we have to now, this is the time, I think, because now we know, now the India is getting connected to other countries more and more through social media, through whatever media, all medias are very active. So now I think this is the time when we have to change, we have to be more, I think we have to control our film industry. So how we can control our film industry, what Maharashtra government is doing, what our central government is doing.
Um, okay, so your question is that how government can control film industry. First of all, I believe that films are artistic expression.
Yes.
It cannot be controlled by the governments.
I would like to pause you here. Actually, here I worked in a Japanese film. Actually, that was like very big film it was, and I had a very big role. And unfortunately, that did not release here, and it was a really good movie. So it did not release because there was something, they broke some law or something. But it is from a very big production house. It was from. So when it came from, since you're talking about the free of speech, freedom of speech and artistic, so I just thought, let me just tell you this. Yeah. So it happened in Japan, and I was a part of it.
Okay. So no, I'm not talking about freedom of speech. I am talking about responsibility. Okay. It is an artistic expression. Mm-hmm. Private individuals are going to make it. So two things we have to understand. First of all, what we call Indian film industry, Bollywood especially, is it Indian film industry? No, it's not. Because it's not owned by Indians. It is owned by Hollywood studios. Okay? Fox, Viacom, most of the films today are produced by individuals who belong to Hollywood. The second set of producers, if you see, they have nothing to do with India. So that is one thing. Now the most important thing is that people who are making it, do they have any responsibility or not? So now today it's a world of OTT. Now look at OTT is a new medium and a lot of people are making it. But all the OTT platforms are controlled by the leftists and the communists and Hindu-phobic people. And which is why you see most of these web series are so Hindu-phobic. I won't say Hindu-phobic, but filled with Hindu hate. And I know all these people who work in OTT, all these executives, I know them and I know their ideology. I know why they are doing it. They are doing it because it makes them look smart when they go to Europe and America or when they go to Middle Eastern countries, which is why they are doing it, because it makes them look good. They are accepted in those societies. They don't care about middle class, poor people in India. They don't care about them. So they don't care about their customers. Tell me one thing, why would anybody make something which pisses off 80% of your customers? So the problem is with the OTTs, today OTTs do not represent India. Now a very famous show like Mirzapur, the people in Mirzapur don't care about that show. Then who are you making it for? You are not making it for the real consumer. You are making it for your own bubble, where you just want to look good, and you look good by criticizing and abusing everything which is India and Indian. Most of them are making fun of cow. Why? Why? For what reason? In Switzerland, they worship cows. In New Zealand, they worship cows. You are always buying cheese which comes from cow. With your wine, you are eating cheese which comes. Why are you making fun of cow? Why are you making fun of Indian pundits? Why are you making fun of people who go to temples? Why are you doing that? To what end? Why are you filling OTTs with so much of perversion, which is not an Indian concept? Indian society is not like that. Why so much of abusing? Why so much of violence? Why are you doing that? Why are you converting these OTT platforms into soft pornographic platforms? That's a very Western concept. It's not an Indian concept. And India is so full of great stories. So great stories. Tell me why there is not 10 films on Vivekanand, why there is no film on Tagore, why not on Aurobindo, why not on independence, why not on partition, why not on freedom struggle? Why don't you have so many stories? You pick up Mahabharata, you pick up Ramayana, you pick up anything you want to. I don't care, you pick up anything. You pick up Buddhist literature, you pick up Jainism, you pick up Sikhism, you pick anything you pick up, you can make so many stories which are Indian, rooted in India. You are not making stories which are rooted in India. You are copying the West. You are not becoming modern, you are becoming regressive by copying them, and you are trying to appease Muslim community by praising them. And sometimes you don't have to appease them by praising them. Sometimes you just humiliate Hindus, you insult them, and these people feel good because you have done that. That's how you are trying to manage your ecosystem, and I think which is very, very wrong, very dangerous. Nobody should appease nobody. Just make Indian stories which are rooted in India, and then you will, which address common persons, common people, and not the elites who live in Bollywood and Western world. Then only you will be doing a good job. And I think because of this, very soon you'll find these people, irresponsible people, will force the government to regulate OTT.
Yeah, very nicely said. And definitely the Bahubali, film like Bahubali and all those, they're like really based on Indian stories and they're super hit. They're mega hit, those stories are. So this, why Bollywood is Hindu phobic? Why always they have to criticize Indian culture? Again, I personally I feel I'm a Sanatani and Hindu is totally, it's not ism, but yeah, it's my culture. So, but why Bollywood is Hindu phobic? Why they don't talk about the other religion? Why they have to criticize always their own culture? Criticize and they have to put it down. Why is it?
Because see, we were never a professionally organized industry. So an industry becomes exactly where the money comes from. So earlier the money was coming from all these corrupt zamindars and industrialists who were just interested in violence and all these things. Then the money started coming from mafia, and they just wanted to glorify crime and violence and all these kind of things. And they were mostly coming from a certain community, so they didn't care if you make fun of Hindus and all that. And then slowly it was taken over by all the leftists and communists. And you know, these communists, you are from Bengal, you know, communists love to, I mean, the same people who in JNU and Jadavpur, they abuse Durga and they abuse Ganesha and Saraswati and all these kind of things they do. So, and then now it is taken over by all these colonial mindset wale convent educated जो ये young लड़के लड़कियां हैं who are basically influenced by the communist and leftist ideology, and they are being brainwashed by urban naxals, or they are brainwashed by these Islamic appeasing intellectuals. So therefore, they want to show off by showing that they are anti-Hindu. But let me tell you honestly, they are the first people when their films are on floor, they go to all the dargahs and mannat mangte hain. The same people go to Siddhi Vinayak or mannat marte hain. They do all kinds of religious things, but in front they pretend as if they are and so it's a corrupt mindset.
They're hypocrites,
Yeah,
nothing else.
brainwashed
So,
hypocrites.
yes. So now it is Vivekji, we are going for rapid fire round. Very short time
Oh,
I'll take. Yes.
I'm very scared of rapid fire rounds.
No, it is all since you are from Bollywood. And one more thing, my mother was really a big fan of Pallavi ji. So say hello to Pallavi ji.
Sure, Adam. Thank you very much.
So and so rapid fire round is I will take few names, just only one word. You will just एक ही शब्दों में आपको बोलना होगा. तो दो शब्द ले लीजिए. चलिए, शाहरुख खान.
Uh, a big star.
Okay, Akshay Kumar.
Opportunist.
Deepika Padukone.
Brainwashed.
Okay, and our honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji.
A saint, a politician who's trying to be saint, and a saint who's trying to be a politician.
Wow, that's fantastic, actually. Okay, Amir Khan.
Brilliant actor, but very manipulative politician.
Okay, and India.
The most beautiful society in the world.
Pakistan.
My estranged brother, who's misguided, who will definitely come back home.
And the last, Pallavi Joshi ji.
My spiritual guru.
That's wonderful. It was a pleasure having you, Vivek ji. And I'm sure the viewers, they are enjoying, and it's really, all the Indian diaspora. On behalf of Indian diaspora, we are really grateful to you for coming to our show and giving your time, precious time. Thank you so much, and namaste. So that was the Nupur Tewari show, episode number 22nd. And we came to know a lot of truth about Bollywood. So next Saturday, I'll be back to you with another dynamic guest. And as I always say, do support us because your support really means a lot to us. Our channel, Yoga na Nupur, do subscribe and watch all the episodes. We are on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as well with same name, Yoga na Nupur. So I'll see you next Saturday. Subratri, good night. Yasmina Sai. Namaste.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.